What's new, YouTube? Cold Covers here, back with a brand new video. And today, as y'all can tell by the title, we're going to be recapping 2025. We're going to take a look at all the graphics and all the art pieces I made throughout this year. So, without further ado, let's get into it. But hold on, wait a second. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe down below, join the movement. Ooh. And without further ado, let's get into the video, man. Let's get into the video. All right, y'all, let's not waste any time here. Hopefully you guys had a good 2025, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you got everything that you wanted out of the year. For me specifically, I wanted a little bit more, but I am appreciative of 2025 and all the lessons and all the things that I experienced throughout the year. So I'm truly grateful. I started taking this channel a little bit more serious. I started posting on here, not consistently, but I'm starting to build my momentum up and get more reps in, and I'm very proud of the progress that I made on this channel. I'm very proud of myself throughout the whole year as well. I made a lot of progress. I did a lot of things. I graduated college. I went to the hospital for a little bit. That was pretty scary. But we're here today, you know what I'm saying? So that's all that matters. And without further ado, let's get into the 2025 art. And one thing that I can commend myself on throughout this whole 2025 is that I never stopped creating art. Like, art is something that always brought me back to center, always brought me back to focus. And it's been a key component of my life, man. And it's like, it's hard to live without, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to live without creating, even YouTube videos. It's hard to do and live life without making art, because this is how I express myself. This is my outlet. This is more than just a creation to me. These are like memories, you know, and I hope that you guys can get inspired by this video. I hope that you guys can learn something about me, and not just me, but my passion as well. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all, so as you can see, we have our first graphic of the year right here. This was made on January 7th, 2025. We're gonna try and keep these a little brief because I have over, I think, 65 pieces to go over for this year. I've made way more than that because I've made logos, I've made videos. So I've been making stuff all year long. Like I said, like, this is just a part of my life. So this first graphic right here is just a simple concept for the vibe. Find love. I was hoping he saw this piece that I made, and he didn't see it because I tagged him in it and he didn't see it. This was around the time where I think I had another Philly artist that was interested in my designs. It was TS. Not sure if you guys heard of him, but he was interested. We were talking, and you know, the deal never got finalized. So it is what it is. It kind of does suck a little bittersweet moment, because you know, you kind of work for moments like that when you're creating art. You want to be recognized by people in higher positions and higher up. So it was a little bit of a letdown, but that's okay. It's just part of the game, you know? So this is the vibe right here, the vibe God. Just a fine love. That was the title of the song that I decided to make an art piece for. And yeah, this was the first one of the year. So let's get into it. All right, the next one we have is Too Far. This is from an artist I used to work with. We kind of don't work anymore now, but this is a concept I made, and he actually ended up turning this one down. He didn't even like this piece that I made. I don't know why he didn't like it, but you know, it is what it is. I poured my heart into this one. I thought he would really enjoy it. I thought it was going to be a finalized cover, but it was not. And that's a big lesson, y'all, for y'all to learn. Like, you guys are going to make things, right? And an artist isn't going to necessarily like it, right? You're going to like it as a creative. Like, you think, I thought this was one of my best pieces this year. That might be an overstatement, but I thought this was a really good piece, man. I think there's a lot of character, a lot of storytelling told throughout this piece, but the artist didn't like it. So, you know, that's kind of the trade-off when you're creating art. It does suck sometimes because, you know, you'll have cool pieces like this that you think are going to get finalized, and they end up not making the final cut. So this was a piece that did not make the final cut. I'm still disappointed about it, but you know, he didn't like it, so there's nothing I could do. The customer is always right, as Mr. Krabs says in SpongeBob. All right. This is our next piece right here. This is a Rilo piece. Rilo Rodriguez, and I believe that's his man's. Not sure who this guy is. Rilo piece. Thought it was creative. I found this background. Thought it was really cool. Like, I really liked this background picture. I'm like, man, who would look good on this? And I decided, to do a Rilo piece, Rilo concept. I think it came out pretty good. I really like how we have the planes here. The plane smoke is like the words, stuff like that. I don't know. Thought it was cool, creative, fun. All right, we have another client piece right here. This was shout out to Miles Davis. He's selling, like, I guess, healthcare products, and he asked me to make a flyer for him. Just a basic flyer. Nothing too much here. You guys can scan the QR code too and follow him at Miles Davis if you guys want to get healthcare products. Boom. So this year I experimented a lot with sports designs. Something I didn't particularly do before. I did a lot of rap and album covers before, but this year I was experimenting a lot with sports, and I came to find out that I actually like sports. Like, I actually like making sports designs. I didn't really get hired for any of these designs, or nobody hit me up for sports designs, but whenever I did post sports this year, a lot of people received it well. So this was a concept that I made for Jaden Daniels. I saw something similar to this on Pinterest with the flowers, but it was for Justin Fields. And I was like, well, who's a better person to do than Jaden McDaniels, or Jaden Daniels, sorry. So I decided to make this piece, and I liked the way it came out. It's another piece we made, Saquon Barkley, 2,000 yards season. Hey man, this was the season he had the hurdle. This hurdle was crazy, a backwards hurdle. Yeah, nah, he was different for that. He went off this season, so he definitely deserved some type of flyer, some type of stat card, and that's what I made for him right here. And I had a lot of fun making this. So yeah. Next one we had the sheets. Yeah, so look, this wasn't the original piece. This is like a watered down version of it, but this was the piece that he liked. Like I said, like, you guys are gonna make stuff that you like, but the person that it's intended for doesn't really like it, so they'll try to alter the art piece. And this is an alteration of the art piece. I did not see the direction in this. I did not agree with the artist, so ultimately we had to just come to a disagreement and not work with each other. I didn't think it was a good fit for my brand and my skill and his identity and his skill. So we just didn't, we just were misaligned, and that's okay. You're not gonna be aligned with everybody. You're not gonna have the same vision. You're not gonna have the same ideas, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Does it suck? Of course it sucks. Like, if I could go back and do this all over again, I'd probably still do the same thing, because for me, art is so much bigger than what some people make it to seem. Some people just want to put something out there just to throw it on there. We got people using ChatGPT cover arts. We got people using AI nowadays, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know, it takes a sense of identity out of the piece. And this piece felt very empty for me because I actually took the main focal point out of the piece, right? He asked for that to be removed, and that was the, focal point of the piece. So then I saw no purpose. So maybe I'm stubborn. Maybe, sometimes I just go for things that, just help benefit me. But I didn't think this was a good representation of my brand specifically. So we just didn't end up working with each other. And, it is what it is. Next, we have this Super Bowl 59 poster. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Nothing more to be said about this one. I think it's pretty cool. I like how I put these like reflective things in the back. Looks pretty cool. Another client piece, Pretty Woman, 5 stars. Shout out 5 star. Worked a couple times this year. And yeah, just, pretty simple. Seeing a pretty woman, men are very visual, what I'm saying? We're very visual. We like to look with our eyes. We like to look at the female's body. Females are usually more intellectual. They like to study our minds and pick our brains, and we're more visualization. So we started with his eyes, then we go to the waist and the belly, then we go to the dancing, then we go to our lips, because that's what the male gaze is. That's what we look at. Just no sugarcoating it, and pretty woman. Next, we have Chaotic, another artist that you guys should check out. This album was actually very fire. I was listening to this a lot when it first came out, actually, and I usually don't listen to I listen to the artists that I work for, but sometimes I don't. And what I can say about this album, though, this album was actually really good. So I'm glad we came up with this. This wasn't the first original idea. We had more of like a Megan Thee Stallion. I forget which album that was. Megan Thee Stallion had like the newspaper. We're going for that look a little bit, but I didn't want to copy word for word, bar for bar what she had going on. So we decided just to go with the newspaper joint, and it's pretty good. I like it. All right. Next, we have another client piece. Might as well. Well. This is a piece right here. This is inspiration of, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, might as well. I think the title of this is a great explanation for the piece. Might as well. You got a lot of things going on. You got heartbreaks, music, school, people looking at you, social media, temptation, drugs, all this stuff that's meant to distract you. And, you say to yourself, I might as well drop that art piece. I might as well drop that album. I might as well do what I was supposed to do here, even with all the temptation, all the distractions around you. Our main character here still decides to drop a project, right? That's the idea I was going for, and this is the track listing for it. Don't have too many track listings in this one particular, but this was one track listing I made, and I like the way this came out. I think it came out pretty good, especially this font. This font is really nice. It's a cool piece. Next, we have another client design that I made, Forever Misunderstood by 302 Quan. Shout out to Quan. And in these little shards, we just have moments of Quan's life, just a reflection of his life. He believes that he is always misunderstood, and a lot of people do. Sometimes I feel misunderstood, and I think he pours his heart out into this song, into these. I'm pretty sure this was an EP, so into this album. Album. I'm pretty sure these were EPs, so into the EPs. Pours his heart out. You get to understand him a little bit more, his spiritual journey, and things that are going on in his life, right? So I felt like the glass represented that pretty well. And I actually made a motion graphic for this. I didn't add it in this video. Maybe I'll add it next time, but I did make a motion graphic for this one. And here was the track listing. So we kept the glass shards. I actually made this logo too. This logo was really cool. Made this logo. This was cool. And he actually was able to use this for merch as well. So that's another thing you guys want to think about when you're creating art, because I really should have charged more for this than what I did, because I made a logo for him to sell merch, and I also did the front and the back of the covers, right? But I didn't know my worth yet. Like, over the years, man, I'm still trying to figure out what my worth is, what my price is. Some people say my prices are too low. Some people say my prices are too high. But the more reps you get in, the more work you put in, you are able to charge based off of that value, based off of that work. And this was a piece right here I shocked myself, because I did a front cover, I did a back cover, I did a motion graphic, and I also did merch design, merch logo. So I should have realistically charged like $500, right? You would think so, but that's not what I charged. I'm not gonna tell you what I charged, but just know that it was not $500, right? But in the future, I'm charging $500, right? But for me, it's not about the money. It's more so about the art, right? All right, so now we have a Drake Party Next Door, some sexy songs for you. This album was really good, actually. Really good album. Really enjoyed this album. A lot of good songs on there. Dope collab. And yeah, we just have Drake's face and Party Next Door's face and some sexy songs for you. You know, this is a blue version of it. I guess the text moved a little bit. All right, moving on to some more sports. Just Shai Gilgeous-Alexander statistic card, right? He was averaging 32.8 points. That's crazy. At the time that I made that, that was crazy. He's getting 5.1 rebounds, 6.2 assists, and they won the championship this year as well. So shout out to Shai. You know. Next we have, and also actually I think this was the first day of my 3-day challenge, or was this the 7-day challenge? Making art every day for 7 days. I think that's what this video was. 7-day challenge. So the next one was The Boys. I was watching The Boys during this time, and we have our guy, the big, the bad, the ugly, Homelander. Homelander throughout this series is crazy, y'all. So if you guys haven't checked out The Boys, I highly recommend it. If you're into superheroes and that sort of genre of sci-fi, I would definitely recommend this. We have our guy right here, Homelander, and we just have different moments of him crashing out or him about to crash out. You know, he's got this menacing face. Anthony Starr does a great job of playing this character. It's almost scary how good he is at playing this character, you know, like he was made for this role. But yeah. Next, we just have a flyer I made for a studio that was trying to service and sell mix and mastering and beat production. Next, we have a campaign flyer. There's a campaign flyer I made based off of the Beyonce cover art. I forgot the name. I think it's Renaissance, the name of her album. And yeah, we just made that based off of that. Thought this came cool. This was the first time I actually used AI too. Like, I used AI to get this horse for the background, and then I added her picture in there. Then I put the highlights and darkened the image a little bit. Then I put the flag. It was very creative. Like, it was my first time using AI, so I think it came out pretty good for my first time. Excuse me. And then we had a couple more flyers here, some basic stuff. We have another campaign flyer right here. This was based off of Boys the Men album cover, and self-explanatory. Or New Edition, I'm sorry. New Edition, my bad. I thought it was Boys and Men. New Edition. Sorry about that. Next, we have a Tyrese Maxey, I guess, stat card. This one is alright. Don't really like it. This was just experimenting. I really don't like it because of this main image right here. The hair is not fully cut out to the best of my ability. Yeah, it just looks rushed, unfinished, and it's alright. I made better. Here is a Ja Morant poster. I actually like this one because it's kind of like, I actually experimented with this style a lot. This was like a kid style. Like, I imagine like a kid cutting out pieces in like a magazine or in like a book and just putting stuff together. You know, as a kid, like, you guys used to make collages and stuff like that. This was kind of inspired like that. Just, a kid cutting out stuff and then pasting it on some type of piece of paper. So that's kind of the theme of this. We just have a whole bunch of random elements. I think it came out pretty well, actually. Next, we have a Devin Booker piece right here. Pretty good piece, you know, just experimenting again. I bought this pack of like designs, desert designs, or not desert designs specifically, but background designs. So I wanted to utilize that, and this was when I was starting to play around with player treatments as well. As you can see, Devin Booker looks a little bit more darker than what he usually would, right? So I guess the sun is coming through this way to cast a shadow over here. I think we did a pretty good job of that. I think it was my first time as well. So next we have another album piece right here for Rich Curtis, or client art, as you would say. Love Volume 1, self-explanatory. For the most part, I don't really know the vision behind this one, and I don't think he did either. That's why we came up with this. Short, simple, to the point. You know, it grabs the viewer's attention because there's, you know, big giant lips on the page. So like, you're gonna be intrigued no matter what you look at first. If it's the name, if it's the title, you're gonna see these big lips, and then after you see the lips, you're gonna travel probably to the title, and then probably to the artist's name. So we just used a female's lips to grab attention, basically. Next, we have Joey from the 9. Who can I trust? Probably one of my favorite graphics I made this year. Self-explanatory here too. No real concept, just who can I trust, you know? Next, we have another photo manipulation, Anthony Edwards. I think this one came out pretty well. We just have Anthony Edwards, you know, passing the ball or doing something cool behind his back with Lakers jerseys. I think this is the time of the playoffs, so I think the Timberwolves had just beat the Lakers in the playoffs. So I made this. Next, this was a part of our 7-day challenge, I believe. Making art every single day. And I'll be doing another challenge like that, y'all, in the upcoming future. Sorry. I'll be doing another challenge like that in the upcoming future. But for right now, this was our Gunna piece. And self-explanatory here. Don't really have any idea or, you know, thing I was really going for. I just really like these Gunna photos, and I thought they would look pretty good in the desert. Realistically, probably wouldn't wear long sleeves and, you know, a cargo pant in the desert, but who knows, you know, right? I think this camel should be a little bit bigger, but overall, cool piece. Next, we have a Justin Jefferson piece. Starting to, like I said, y'all, I was doing a lot of sports graphics this year. Just experimenting with sports and diving into that realm, because it was a realm that, you know, I stayed away from for a long time. So I was just getting into that. Then we had the movie Sinners come out. It was a good movie. I was able to make this piece based off of the movie, and I think it came out really good. We have our main antagonist in the corner. I haven't seen the movie in a little minute, so I forgot what even happened in this movie. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I only watched this movie one time. Some people went to go see it 2, 3, 4, even 5 times. I only watched this movie one time, y'all, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was okay. I think the world building was probably the best part of the movie, and of course the twins were a great part of the movie too. I like the movie. Good movie. It wasn't my movie of the year. My movie of the year was F1, but I did enjoy this movie enough to make a poster for it, so this was the poster. Next, we have another client piece, Because I'm Strong. This was the piece he recommended. He wanted like a highway sign that said "Because I'm Strong," and was cars passing by, so that was the idea of it. This is specifically what he wanted. I just made it come a life. Next piece we have here, the little things. no real idea. Some of these pieces, man, like I don't have a concept. I'm just going out there and just creating, you know. Somebody says, yo, I might want a piece, and then I ask them like what do they want specifically. They don't really know, and I'm just making stuff. So 2026, I'm not doing that no more, y'all. Like, you guys gotta come with ideas now. And if you don't have an idea, that's okay. That's my job usually, but I gotta stop doing the just creating stuff with no idea, because it just makes my job harder, because now I have to guess. And especially if you don't send me any songs or anything, now I have to kind of guess to see what you would like, and it just makes the process longer. Or maybe I'll just charge more for people that don't have ideas. How about that? That's always charging more or charging less. That's always quick fix, you know, to most problems. Next, Ryan Williams piece for the college football 26. I don't like this piece at all. I rushed it. This, in my opinion, don't really like this piece. Doesn't really tell a story. Just looks pretty basic, looks pretty regular. I just could have did better. Next, we have this piece for 4, another client cover art. Can't be guarded. You know, he just hit the game winner. Now he's flexing on people. He's got the watch with the boom shakalaka in the back. If you guys don't know, that is from NBA Jam. Boom shakalaka, and then we put like the pixelated 3 points and all that. He didn't like all these extra effects. I took those out, but I liked it, so I always save the one that I like. So this is the one that I like. Of course, I posted this one too. So another client cover art for Joe Vega. Not a bad person. Self-explanatory. Tales of the Underworld. Cad Bane. My first time exploring Star Wars themed art. This was actually a pretty good backstory on Cad Bane. It really showed us an in-depth story behind the character and why he behaves the way he behaves. I don't remember it entirely because this was made June 16th, 2025, but it was January 4th, 2026. Like, a lot of stuff that I watch, bro, goes through my eyes and to the back of my brain. I just remember it, and yeah, won't stop. This is a title cover art, working with title cover arts. I actually turned this into a pre-made cover art not too long ago. Rolling Loud flyer. Excuse me. Rolling Loud flyer, y'all. It's a cool, fun concept. Me and a friend were just, we were doing this art challenge, and we decided to do Rolling Loud flyers. And I looked at the lineup. I don't know which lineup this was. Maybe it was 2023. They had Future, Playboy Cardi, and Travis. That's actually a crazy lineup. I don't even listen to Playboy Cardi or Travis like that as much as I used to. But it's still a fire lineup. Like, imagine going to a concert and seeing Future and Travis Scott. Fire. Next, we have the first clothing design that I made. Concept, right? This is just a concept. 03 Visions. I don't even know what the idea of this was, man. Like, now I'm looking back at it, it really has no purpose. It has no... I just think this looks cool. Like, I don't know what this is. I guess it's like a guy with a cat on his shoulder. I don't know. It just looks cool. Like, that's really what it is. Like, there is no story, backstory. It just looks cool. Next, we have a Jason Tatum piece that I like. I think this piece came out pretty well. I don't have too much to say about this one. I think it came out pretty well. Next, we have Tour, another Philly rapper that I made an art piece for. This in particular he didn't see, but I just always like this piece because we have the tour around here. We have these photos of him with this girl. and we just get a sense of, you know, how he's living life at this moment, you know. So I thought it was pretty cool. Next, we have a pre-made cover art, and you guys can get all my pre-made cover arts on my Gumroad account. Make sure you guys go check that out. That is coldcovers@gumroad.com. You guys can get all these. They're fairly inexpensive. Probably cost you like $15 to start. If you want any changes on it, then it's gonna be a charge of $5 for a change. You know what I'm saying? So you can get this for $15, right? But if you want to change the name of it, then that's gonna cost $5. So 5, 10. So it'll cost you about like 25, you know. But the base is $15. You know what I'm saying? Alfredo 2. Yeah. Alfredo 2. Doesn't say 2 or Alfredo. Just Alfredo on the napkin. Alfredo 2, you know. I don't know, for some reason this one took me a long time to make too, and it's super simple. And in fact, I think I forgot to add, I made another one throughout this time too for the Clips album that came out. I forgot to add that in here, but I made another one. We build bridges, RMNT, Sav, client design logo. Cool. I forgot the inspiration behind this one. Why we put this Arabic script in the back, I forgot, but that's what the client wanted, so I delivered. Another NBA piece here, Caleb Williams, to Portland. Nice little piece right here. Put the map in the journey. Put the map behind just to show him the journey that he's been on to get to the league. I don't think it's been a straight path for him as well, so been a lot of ups and downs and stuff. So just put welcome to Portland, Caleb Love. Next, just some thumbnails I made that I thought were really cool. I make actually all the thumbnails on my page. I make all of them. So that's why I said I have over, I don't know why. This is only 65 pieces, but I have well over that, y'all. Like, well over 65 pieces, dog. Like, this year. I think I'm in the 70 to 80. I think I'm in the 70 to 80. Definitely 70. Probably 80, though. Definitely. Keep it a buck. Probably in the 80 range. Because I made all my thumbnails this year, too. So, everything you've seen on my page is me. For the most part. Yeah, everything on the page is me, actually. Nobody told me that. And that's something to be proud of. Definitely something to be proud of, but wouldn't recommend it for the future. Alright, y'all, I had to take a quick break, y'all. I felt like I was talking for a lot and I was starting to just sound like a broken record, so I just need a little break. We're back into it though. Another client piece, Civil War. This piece took me a long time to make. I did a lot of photo manipulation here, and I really challenged myself as an artist. And Quan actually challenged me a lot with this piece, so shout out to Quan. We just have a big civil war between the heart right here and the mind. Heart and the mind going to battle, and it's just all out war. You know, that's all I can say for that one. Next piece we have here is Crash Out Remix. Meek Mill and Lights with Friday as well. Thought it was a little creative way to just have fun. A lot of pieces I just be having fun, y'all. Like I just be trying stuff. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's not gonna work. And if it doesn't work, man, you know, just make another one. That's what I always say. Every piece that you make is not a waste of time. Every piece that you make is just you finding your identity in this. You finding your voice. You finding your outlet. And just creating a narrative and creating something that, you know, you can look back on like me. Like what I'm doing right now. I'm looking back on my old pieces and I actually really like this art piece. Next we have another Joe Vega piece. Pop It. Simple as that. Pop It. No real. More like a Playboy Cardi kind of concept here that we're going for. Thought it was cool. Just went with it. Next, we have a piece, The Imperfects by JC. JC is me. I made a song this year. Guys should go check out this video. This video took me a pretty long time to make because I was procrastinating a lot, and I was also scared that you guys weren't gonna like the song too. So if you guys go check out that video, make sure you guys go check it out. It'll be in the description. And let me know how you guys like the song. I thought the song was pretty good. Next, we have a Gunna concept cover art right here. This was based off of a painting by Pablo Picasso that I really enjoy. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called The Three Musicians. If you guys don't know what painting I'm talking about, please go look that up. Dope painting, one of my favorites. I think when I get like my own spot, I want to have like my favorite paintings just on the walls of wherever I live. Right now I got the Spider-Man piece in the back. I know you guys can see that, but I also have other stuff up. You just can't see it. But I definitely want to have art pieces of my favorite artworks of all time. In fact, I have so much art pieces around my room. Like even stuff like this. Like this is the birth of Jesus on a card. I just thought this art piece was cool too. Just showing something off. I know I got off topic, but just to show you guys that, you know, I love art. Like it's in my room. It's, you know, what I listen to. It's like everywhere. I can't avoid it. You know? Another Joe Vega piece. Love is toxic. Love is toxic. Love is like a drug. Love is a lot. It's a lot. Pre-made cover art right here. Drown. Self-explanatory. Guy falls in the ocean and there's a shark waiting for him and he doesn't even know about it. So, a lot of heartbreak. Next, we have another client piece, 5-star. This piece right here was super hard to create. A lot of revisions with this one. Too many revisions to my liking, to be honest. And this was the final piece. You kind of don't know what you're looking at. I don't even know what I'm looking at. That's how many revisions we did, you know. But it's a finished piece. Hate me now, love me later. Painting style. And yeah. Hate me now, love me later. Trackless. Next, we have another thumbnail that I made. This is actually for the song that I made as well. So you guys can go check out this video. The thumbnail looks like this. Make sure you guys go watch it. And let me know what you guys think. Did I do a good job on the thumbnail? Or not just the thumbnail, but did I do a good job on the song and the cover art? 4, Trap Jones. Self-explanatory right here. Alright, we have another sports graphic, Jackson Dart. I like this one because I thought it was creative to like have like these target practice kind of things going around the design. I don't know. I really like this one. Next, VJ Edgecombe. Boom. Stat graphic. 21.2 points, 5.64, 5.4 assists, 43.8 percentage, 3-point and 49.5 field goal. First 5 games. Goldfish, boom. The Alchemist, Hit Boy album. Is this my album of the year? Probably not. My album of the year might have to go to either JID, Wale, or Conway dropped a fire album, Conway the Machine dropped some heat. I'm talking about that was gas. You guys gotta go listen to that Conway. But this album right here was one of my favorites of the year, for sure. Alchemist, Hit Boy, definitely one of my favorite. And this is one of my favorite pieces of the year as well. I think we really got a chance to retell the story of the original cover art. You guys should go watch that video as well. This is where I broke down the cover art and what we were looking remade it in my own style, and this was the final result. Another sports graphic, Josh Allen. We have another video on the channel for this one as well. Speed art. Make sure you guys go check that out. There's basically all the teams that Josh Allen had defeated throughout the season. You know, this is only what, 4 and 3. This was only 7 teams, so there's only 7 games in. So it was a couple weeks ago. Nipsey Hussle, the marathon continues. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace to his legend. We have another speed art on the channel for Nipsey Hussle, so make sure you guys go check that out. Another piece right here, just a tribute to him and where he's from, and just letting the people know that the marathon continues even after, even after our time on this earth has passed. The marathon still continues for each and every one of us. Next, we have a Steph Curry graphic that I made. Another stat card. I do a lot of these stat cards kind of graphics. 28.5 points, 4.1 assists, and 3.8 rebounds. 21 Savage album, What Happened to the Streets. Pretty good album. Not the best of the year, but pretty good. It has some good songs on there. I really like this piece because it used Kerry James Marshall, and it also combined Kerry James Marshall with Sloan. I think that's how you say it, Sloan. 2 of my favorite artists that I've been studying for a little while. Kerry James Marshall as an artist that I discovered probably last year or maybe 2 years ago. And I just fell in love with his work, and he's just a great artist. And Sloan, I just found about a couple months ago how he made $1 million off a painting. I'm like, dude, that's insane. And, you know, this was inspired by both of them. So, thank you. Okay, we have some logos here that I made for that other Forever Misunderstood album. Like I said, I need to package these a little bit better for the next time. This was my first time doing something like this. So I should have put everything in like a package and then sold it. I sold everything separately. You know, just something to learn from. Next, we have another sports graphic, Donovan Mitchell. Pretty self-explanatory here. This is a Donovan Mitchell graphic. Next, we have I was experimenting with another style of bootleg cover art. Lil Baby, Wham Wham, Wham Wax, whatever that says. Bootleg style, you know, bootleg cover arts didn't really have too much. The style for the bootleg is more so like generic, you know, playing, but it also sends a message. So that's the style for this one. Maybe I should do more bootleg cover arts. Would you guys like to see that? Another bootleg cover art? Maybe I should do more of those. Cause this didn't come out too bad. I actually like the way this looks a lot. Maybe I'll do another bootleg cover art, y'all. Let me know in the comments down below. And last but not least, Amon St. Brown sports graphic. And yeah, we went over all of the art that I made in 2025, y'all. So this was a lot of art being made, and you know, this year I plan to make more. I want to definitely get to the hundreds this year. Hopefully we can do that. I think this year I was in the 70 to 80 range for the whole year. So, you know, when you do the math, that's probably like 1 or 2 pieces a week. So that's pretty good in my eyes, but you know, we could always do better. We could always strive for more. That's the human experience, you know, always going for more, never satisfied with what we have. But when you look back at this work, and when you look back at all the wins and the losses and the ups and the downs, you know, it's very satisfying, and it lets you realize that, you know, you are a great artist and you have made good work and you were consistent and you did show up. And it's important that every artist goes back and reflects the art that they made and looks at the projects from the past, because the past tells a lot about the present, and it tells a lot about the future as well, right? I don't know if that made sense, but my past art pieces tell a lot about where I'm at right now, skill-wise, but they also tell me that I have a lot to learn for my future, right? So when I look at these past pieces of art, I'm proud at some of them, and a lot of them I'm disappointed in. And you know, that's just how the cycle goes. It'll just never be it'll always be a constant cycle, right? So I say all that to say that I'm proud of this year. Hopefully you guys are proud of y'all years as well. If you guys have any questions, any comments, put them down in the description down below. Not the description, the comment section down below. I'm gonna be signing out here, y'all. This is a 40-minute video, so make sure you guys line up the like button. You run up the like button. You hit subscribe down below. You join the crew. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.